Hi all! So a while ago on YouTube, I stumbled down a wormhole of small kitchen appliance reviews. As I was looking to buy an air fryer and perhaps maybe a pressure cooker, that's when I stumbled across one of the worst YouTube chefs of all time. His name is Jack Scalfani, as I like to call him, Jack Salmonella Scalfani. I watch video after video of him butcher, sometimes quite literally, recipes. Imagine driving slowly past a multi-car pileup on the interstate. That's my face as I watched him teach the internet how to make partially cooked meals of varying types and taking awful and unneeded shortcuts to recipes that are already quick to prepare. The absolute horror of Jack's lazy man chefing, air quote, techniques to my boyfriend Tom. And now, since we can't unsee it, we are opening your eyes to it as well. I'm Michelle, and I welcome you to join us for this horrific journey, better known as Pink Chicken and the Lazy Man. Welcome back to Pink Chicken and the Lazy Man.
Pink Chicken and the Lazy Man.
We're back after taking a week off.
We were taking some me time.
Yeah, we figured we'd take a little rest, but Jack has not taken a rest from sucking in the kitchen.
Oh, Lord, no.
In fact, I think it's gotten worse. Each time we take a break and we come back, we're like, how does he get worse than he was before?
Well, he repeats the same mistakes he's always made. Let's not get into coating the pan just yet. That's a spoiler alert. He's not learning how to cook. He's not learning better cooking techniques, and he's not even learning that he should be eating better nutrition. It's spiraling down.
Yeah, it's getting real bad. I think the first video we're gonna start with is how to make a fried bologna sandwich. Because
how to make the ultimate fried bologna sandwich.
Oh, well, this one was released a week ago, so it must have been the Friday episode that he released. We looked at the sauce video, the Kentucky-Yaki.
Oh yeah, Jack's new trick is to pretend he has sponsors. He makes it look like he's like, oh, I was sent these. You were sent these because you paid for them. He's making it seem like somebody just saw him and was so impressed with his YouTube channel. They're like, this man must use our sauce on camera. It must happen.
So these sauces he puts in sous vide bags. Sous vide? Anyway, with chicken. Two of the sauces are
sous
just...
vide? The Scranton Vides?
The
You met her husband? Yes, Joe and sous vide. Yes, you met them.
So anyway, so he puts chicken in these three different sauces in sous vide bags.
Well, he claims they're all marinades, but one is a marinade and the other two are just clearly condiments. One's a soy sauce, one's a Worcestershire sauce. That's it.
Yeah, I don't know anyone who just cooks chicken in soy sauce. Like, you use it in a marinade.
Right.
But that's not the only thing in the marinade. And same with Worcestershire sauce. I don't even know that you would use that on a chicken.
Typically, Worcestershire sauce is used on fish or red meat.
Right. So that was kind of a throwaway episode for us, so we're not going to review that one. But
the fact that Jack has all the kitchen gadgets. He's got the air fryer, he's got the Instant Pot, he's got the Air Pot Instant Fryer, he's got the Instant Fryer Air Pot, he's got the sous vide thermo cooker thing, but his technique is so lacking that not even the best culinary technology can pull him through.
We'll start with the how to make the ultimate fried bologna sandwich from Friday last week.
Yes, once again, we do a great job of describing the thing we're not going to tell you about.
The Tuesday episode was that sauce video.
Yeah, F that. We're not doing that.
Yeah, we're not doing that. This ultimate fried bologna sandwich, which is essentially making use out of more condiments, really.
Yeah, this is essentially what you make a child when you know the child wants to eat something hot, so the child will not just tolerate one more cold sandwich. So this is what you feed a child, like a grilled cheese, but you're like, well, what if we just throw some meat in there too? Well, what meat will work? Well, you don't want to fry turkey in a pan like that. Bologna. We'll just do bologna. It's kind of like when the kid wants a hot dog or a sandwich. This is a hot dog sandwich. Bologna, in my world, bologna is a hot dog pancake. It is a pancake-shaped hot dog. So he fries it.
So he fries it, or tries to fry it, but it ends up coming up really charred. We won't spoil anything, but... Well,
let's get into it. This video has 6,700 views on it, so a little higher up than his videos. His video's been averaging about between 3 and 4, so he's getting a little bit more audience. I guess as things are returning to normal. It was released a week ago. Shall we get into it?
Yeah, let's get into it.
All right, folks out there in podcast land, synchronize your YouTubulators. We are hitting play in 5, 4, 3, 2, play. All right, he's on there. He's wearing a little Cooking with Jack hat. He's got his t-shirt on. YouTube graphic makes an appearance, still harshly aliased.
So we got bread, pickles, bologna, Louisiana hot sauce, and Swiss cheese. Those are the ingredients. I can't tell what kind of bread it is. It looks like a white bread of some sort.
These are not cooking ingredients. These are just sandwich ingredients.
Although I am intrigued by the gallon-sized jar of the pickles. Like, who has that kind of thing laying around their kitchen?
And they are the bread and butter pickles. We watched other videos on this, and apparently apparently this is like a southeastern United States delicacy, the fried bologna sandwich. We watch people make it.
Well, they make in New Jersey Taylor pork roll.
Taylor pork roll
is pretty.
It's more of a breakfast item.
It's more of a breakfast item. They cut it similar and they fry it similar and put it on breakfast sandwiches.
It's New Jersey's answer to Canadian bacon, though.
That's pretty tasty. I've had that, but I've never had bologna like at all.
Okay, so we got a pan.
Plain fried, whatever. So I'm kind of shooting in the dark with this episode, much like the hot dog episode, because I don't eat.
She does not eat hot dogs in tube or pancake form.
No, he starts by frying the bologna. It doesn't swirl the oil in the pan.
Nope, doesn't coat the pan. I've given up hope at this point. I've given up hope.
He uses olive oil, which has a lower smoke point, which confuses me because of how high he cranks this pot up, and it starts to smoke at one point.
Which could also be why the bologna comes out so charred. Oh, now he's slitting it so it doesn't bubble up in the middle.
And you do that with Taylor pork roll as well. Like, you'd slit it so that it doesn't curl up.
You're deeply into this pork roll product you claim you haven't eaten.
I've had pork roll. I haven't had
fried bologna.
No.
So now he's got his giant Pac-Man sized slits in the fried bologna. And some of the other
supposed to do with that one.
Some of the other recipes we saw. We watched Sam the Cooking Guy, and then we started getting into a whole bunch of the southern YouTube cooks to see how they make fried bologna sandwiches, the natives, if you would. To a man, they all use butter. One person used butter and a little bit of oil, but it's mostly a butter thing. So him using just plain straight olive oil on this, A, wrong flavor profile. B, that's why his bologna chars so quickly. Wrong smoke point.
And it's not a color that looks like it's going to be cooked evenly through. It's like really brown on the edges, like really dark brown on the edges, and hardly, it's pink still in the center.
You're just supposed to lightly toast the bologna. You're just supposed to make it lightly golden brown. By the time he gets to the second part here, where he gets to the second pieces of bologna, where he shows you that he doesn't, puts a slit in them so you can see it bubble up in the middle of it. What'd you call it? A zit?
A zit, yeah.
Yeah, looks like a giant pimple going off, and it does.
Then he flattens it and it only just rises back up because he has the pan too freaking hot.
These second pieces where he didn't bother to coat the pan again.
You could see the burn marks kind of forming on the one side of the pan.
Yeah, it's obviously on the synthetic casing. So basically the synthetic casing has burnt to a crisp on the side of the bologna.
Then he's saying, okay, let's turn down the flame. Like, he should have turned it down 5 minutes ago.
Watch the flame. He does not turn it down. And number two, he moves the pan. He's like, well, we gotta let the pan cool down. He does it in real time. If you notice, the pan is off that flame for about 8 to 9 seconds. That's it.
So now it's time to put the butter side down bread, which he forgets to mention.
Big
so he
red arrow of shame. Oh, here's a screw up arrow. I love that he puts it in red so he knows he screwed up.
Then he puts the Pac-Man cut pieces on.
But no condiments on the bread.
Oh, and he doesn't use tongs. He ends up burning his hand. The first piece doesn't look terrible. It doesn't look good, but it doesn't look terrible. The second piece he puts on is completely charred.
I think it somehow flipped over, and that's the second side. He's showing us the side that he originally laid down of the bologna. So now he's throwing down layers of Swiss cheese, and for some reason he got the Swiss cheese cut thick too, because he mentioned he got the bologna cut double thick.
What confuses me here is I'm like, okay, so he's making one sandwich with these two separate pieces of bread in here, because that's what it looks like. But at the end, he actually does.
Oh yeah, this is some of our best video journalistic work is done in this video. I feel like we dug deep on this one. It's basically like the Zapruder film of bad cooking. We caught something here, and when you see it, and when we tell you about it, you're going to be like, oh, I would never have realized that. But now that you say it, oh my God. Oh, here comes a switcheroo.
So
Jack's hand goes out. Tammy's hand comes in
to flip the sandwiches.
5 minutes and 45 seconds. Jack suddenly got a manicure.
And a couple rings.
Yeah. She's got a French manicure going on the fingers. I can't tell. Is that a French manicure or she just covered her fingers in butter?
They're glistening.
Oh, here comes, and at 5:59, Jack's hand comes back in, which makes it really weird because it makes it seem like Jack cut off his arm and took Tammy's arm for his limp arm.
So this is 2 becomes 1 section at 6:15 in the video.
Pink Chicken noticed. She's like, wait, go back. And I'm like, what? He's got the sandwiches there. She's like, no, he made a triple decker. I'm like, he wouldn't do that off camera. He'd show us that. That would be his innovation on the recipe. Like, oh, it's going to be like a BLT, but more hot sauce and pickle goodness. Like he screwed up with the Taco Bell pizzas. But no, through careful video analysis work, we have come to find out that remember when we said we thought he was folding the 2 pieces of bread together to make one sandwich, but he actually made 2 sandwiches? He has stacked the sandwiches together. What you're looking at time index 612 on the YouTube video is 2 sandwiches stacked neatly atop each other, so it looks like one sandwich, but it's actually 2.
I'm still confused about whether there's 3 pieces of bread or 4 pieces of bread.
Oh, there's 4.
He smushed them down and I can't really tell.
When he was cooking the sandwiches, the sandwich to the back of the frying pan, he really smushed that down. That's the sandwich sitting on top. When he realized that he smushed the first sandwich down too much, he's like, oh, it's a grilled cheese, you gotta flatten it out. He didn't flatten the second sandwich down. The non quite so flat flattened sandwich is the one on the bottom.
Oh, okay. Well,
but if you notice, he only did one layer of cheese. So that's what tipped us off. When you look at the sandwiches, you're like, wait, there's 2 layers of cheese gooing out of this. How did he do that? And then that's when Pink Chicken was like, oh, he made a triple decker. And I'm like, nah, he wouldn't do that. But then we looked around the kitchen, so we rewound and fast forwarded several times. We're like, wait, where'd the other sandwich go? Is it in the back behind? No, it's not back there. It's not over there. Tammy wouldn't eat it. Jack Jr. probably wouldn't eat this crap. So where'd the other sandwich go? And that's when we put 2 and 2 together and realized he's eating 2 sandwiches at once.
Yeah, because Tammy doesn't want anything to do with the sandwich. And I don't know if it's because of the bologna factor, like I have an aversion to that, or if she saw how charred the meat was and was like, hell no, I'm not eating that. Like,
a little from column A, a little from column B.
Yeah, so he ends up downing both of these.
Pork roll, though. Would you eat it for pork roll?
Yeah, I have it with pork roll, I think. That at least, I don't know.
Now remember, he also got the bologna cut double thick. So, and he used 2 pieces of bologna per sandwich.
That much more
technically
gross
it's 4 pieces of bologna per sandwich. So now this is technically, he's eating 8 slices of bologna, 8 slices of cheese. How much salt and nitrate is in that, and how much should he be consuming?
He puts the meat and the cheese on the bread. He doesn't put anything inside of the sandwich. It's just dry. All the other videos we watched, either they put mayonnaise, mustard, or mayonnaise and mustard mixed together.
He doesn't lube up the bun, he just slaps his meat in there dry.
So it's dry except for the hot sauce, which is he puts on top of the meat, and it's only in the middle of the sandwich.
Right. Most of the people we saw who did this sandwich properly put some mayonnaise and or mustard on the inside of the bread before they put the fried bologna back on top of it.
The outer part of the bread is butter.
Right.
And that's really the only moisture. Like,
he might have gotten away with it if he would have put the cheese down first and then put the bologna in the middle, but he put the cheese in the middle. Put the cheese on it, then basically you're having a grill. It's basically like it would have been an iteration on a grilled cheese. You would have been like, oh, it's a grilled cheese, but there's some fried bologna and some pickles in the middle of it for flavor and a little salt. The way he does it, yeah, that bread is just adhered. The bologna sweats out a little bit and just as it's adhered to it. It's very pasty.
The pickles on the inside of the fried sandwich, I don't know that we've seen anyone else do that. We've seen people put onions on, like sauteed.
The hot sauce is very thin. I mean, it's not like a mustard. It's not. Hot sauce is way less viscous than your mayonnaise or your mustard would be. So that's just going to run out of the sandwich. He puts it on the cheese layer and the pickles. Nothing's going to absorb it there. If he would have brushed the hot sauce on the bread, but again, should have mixed the hot sauce in something. Now, if he mixed the hot sauce with mayonnaise, did kind of like a hot mayo thing and put it on there. I mean, if we would have laid down some hot mayo before he slapped his meat in that bun, I might be on board.
He cuts away quickly from the sandwich at 6:15. He only shows it to you for a couple seconds.
So you don't realize
that's why we had
subterfuge.
That's why we had to rewind it a couple times.
He's overexposing again, which is fun. The sauce video was underexposed, which we're not reviewing, but we talk about not reviewing. See that? He's doing the underhand sandwich technique like he did with the hot dog. Everybody was calling him out for the hot dog that he underhanded into his mouth. Here's the same thing. He looks at the sandwich and he picks it up. Doesn't scoop his hand underneath. He scoops under his fingers. You would think he would flip his hand over. He doesn't. He just hands it in.
He goes, wow. But he says it in such a way that it's just like, wow. Like, not like, wow, this is so good. I can't believe how great this is. It's just like, wow.
Gotta dissolve in there because, of course, Jackass still hasn't figured out how to take a small bite and talk about the reaction to it. He takes a huge bite. Like, if that's your normal bite,
it looks
take
like
a half
the
bite.
Sandwich is gone.
Oh, yeah.
On the one side.
That's why there's a half-second dissolve in there. And he's talking about the sandwich. He's talking about what's coming up. And then we cut to 30 seconds of the outro card, which has the middle of a play. So now interestingly, when we get to the gamer video, which we'll get here in a second, he goes from having the outro card mentioning the merch store, and you're like, oh, okay. So he's done with the sauces. He either sold them out of the garage, or Tammy's not letting him sell the sauces anymore. Then in the gamer video, confusingly, he's got the sauce hat and the sauce shirt on. Does he have the sauce shirt on? We'll find out. But yeah, so this is Jack's fried bologna sandwich video. Again, fried bologna, Southern classic. Somehow he messes up even that simple recipe. You can't call this condiments with Jack, but this is just barely cooking.
It's like one level above condiments with Jack. This
isn't even stoner food. This is, you've come home, you're late for an appointment, you have a small child, the small child is hungry, a cold sandwich is not going to cut it, you don't have any frozen pizzas left, you don't have any hot dogs left, so fried bologna is the last refuge of the time-constrained parent. But remember, Jack's eating 2 sandwiches at once. He's eating for 2, folks.
Yeah,
he's in his 37th trimester.
Wow. All right, well, I think that'll do it for this episode of Pink Chicken and the Lazy Man.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it. Oh, that's right. Hey, yeah, we were mentioned on the live chat this weekend.
Yeah, we'll talk more about it in the gamer video.
We're going to try to clip that out and make it a sound bite and put it and sneak it into one of our...
Oh, that's going to be our intro now. You'll say Pink Chicken and the Lazy Man. I'll say Pink Chicken and the Lazy Man. We'll both sing it, and then we'll just have Jack go, never heard of him. Not familiar. Nope. Which, oh, by the way, Jack, we've seen the analytic. We know where you live, and we know there are many listens to different episodes of the podcast coming from Tennessee. So, sorry, buddy. You are listening.
Somebody's listening.
Somebody's listening, and we thank you, folks, for listening.
Join us back here next time.